In today's video I want to talk about what I call being with the weirdness. And what this refers to is that you just become fully okay with any wacky or weird aspects of your personality. Because sometimes what ends up happening with human beings is that they become too overly concerned about looking like a fool, because they are so focused on making a good impression and looking good, that sometimes they inhibit certain spontaneous aspects of their personality and just hide those things and never really express those weird or wacky aspects of their personality because they're ashamed for it. Sometimes you may have peers in your childhood that make fun of you simply because you act a little weird, and you may end up stopping to express certain aspects of your personality. And I think that's a shame, because really being with the weirdness and just expressing any weird or wacky aspects of your personality and just being a little silly, it really helps to take the edge of life off, I think. It helps us to not take ourselves too seriously, not be so caught up with our egos, and just have fun and loosen up a bit. And this is just one of many aspects of your personality, and I think it's something that you should really value and treasure. I mean, it's only one aspect of your personality. It's not like you're going to act like a clown and act all weird and play the fool part for the entirety of your life. It's just simply something that you can do when you're chilling back with your friends. Just want to have a good time, act a little silly. I mean, it's a great way to relieve stress. I sometimes hear my friends say things to me like, "Can you believe this guy? He studies at the university. He's all smart, and he's acting like such a fucking child and such a fucking moron at times." But really, it's just, sure, I can go be all serious and act like a professional within the context of doing work or during an education, but at the same time, in another context, I may act like a fool, and my friends can attest to this, and that's why they gave me this shirt. I'm not gonna translate it, but if you Google it or translate it into Dutch, you'll know what that means. And it's pretty much a testimony. I thought it would be a good fit for the topic of this video. They're always bugging me that I don't wear it often enough. They're all giving me shit about it, like, "Oh, we're giving you this awesome shirt and you don't even wear it, you ungrateful bastard," blah blah blah. Well guys, I'm wearing this shit. Anyway, back on topic. Also, I think being with the weirdness really applies to going after things you want in life and just thinking out of the box and including a lot of different ways that you can try to approach going after what you want and achieving your goals. For instance, in an earlier video I talked about how I changed my diet about a year ago. And what I really changed in my diet was that I was at that time, and for the first 24 years of my life, I ate a very high carb diet. I ate a lot of processed foods and sugars, and I was also eating a lot of stuff. And what I didn't know at the time was that when I cut way back on the carbohydrates and I replaced those with healthy fats and protein, that I would get a lot of withdrawal symptoms from that. Because what I learned later is that sugar really is a potentially addictive substance, and I really was addicted to the large amount of carbohydrates that I was eating, and I really used it to mood alter. Like I stated in an earlier video on addiction, the neurotransmitters and neurotransmitter receptors inside of your brain, they're influencing the mood that you have and how you feel in general. And what sugar basically does is, just like any drug, it releases large amounts of neurotransmitter into your brain, and as a result of this you get desensitized neurotransmitter receptors, and your reserves are ending up being depleted. So what happens with any drug, and just like sugar, if you're addicted to eating a lot of carbs in your diet, then the first thing that's going to happen is that you're going to have withdrawal symptoms. Basically what this means is that you're going to feel like shit for a while, and over time it starts getting better, and this getting better takes quite a long time, as I learned, because the first week I changed this diet, the first week actually wasn't that bad, because the sugar crash that I had in low blood sugar prompted me to go brain dead. I really was just like laying around like there, just really not processing anything. But after that, the light started to come back on a little bit more, and I still felt very much in a low emotional and energy state, and this really sucked. So naturally, my brain and my body started craving the carbohydrates that I was addicted to. And I knew what was happening with my body intellectually, because I've studied a lot of this stuff beforehand. But at the same time, my emotional experience was one like, oh, I want to feel better. I want to feel better in the short term. I want those carbohydrates that boost my state in the short term, and I just want them right now. And what ended up happening was within the first 4 weeks especially, and also up until I think 8 weeks, I really had these strong cravings for these carbohydrates. And what ended up happening was that in a moment of weakness, sure enough, I gave in and I started binging on these high carb foods. At those critical moments that I felt absolutely at my emotional lowest, when my mood was down like dramatically and I just totally had it with all of it, then in that moment of weakness I would grab to binge on all these things that I would eat earlier, like vanilla custard, certain cookies, some all brand stuff, like really a lot of stuff that had a lot of carbohydrates in it, like cake and custard, and those were my favorites to binge on basically. So as you can imagine, I was like, what the fuck? I didn't know I was this out of control, man. I had no ideas that these withdrawal symptoms would be this insane, and also I was just amazed at like how addicted I really was to these foods. Foods that you're basically most people consider to be normal. And when I cut way back on them, well, I really ate them excessively. I was also always a person that was eating all day, every day, and also simply just a lot of bad stuff like cookies, potato chips, and just an extra bowl of vanilla custard with some extra cereal, and just a lot of stuff that would really help to put in some large doses of extra carbohydrates into my body, basically just to fuel my energy needs. But as I later realized, also to just boost my emotional state. So I was getting pissed off with this because I didn't like the fact that I was binging and I was failing on this diet, because I was like, no, I'm gonna stick to this, I'm not gonna let this get the better of me. So basically I decided to do something very weird. So what I simply decided to do was just to do something fully weird. I just decided for myself, like, oh, I'm gonna stick to this diet, but whenever I find myself going into this binging, and I just find that I've gotten fully out of control, I'm letting the emotional side of me get the better hand of me, I no longer direct my behavior with the rational, logical part of my brain that knows like, oh, I should stop eating this. And whenever I find myself going over the edge and start binging, then what I would do is like, I was like, fuck this shit. I'm just gonna go full crazy with this. And after I had my little binge done, and I would feel satisfied, like I would feel a little bit better, like, oh, I'm getting this this carbohydrate dose and this sugar rush, I would be like, no, keep going, keep eating this shit, more. And I would basically just stuff myself on this this crappy high carb food on purpose until the point of nausea. Just like that one more spoon of custard with this crap would basically just make me fully nauseous, and to the point that I would feel like total shit. So, and the reason that I did this was because I wanted to associate very negative emotional experience with these foods, so I would no longer do it. So I decided to do this, and this is fully aware of the fact that that's really weird. That's a really weird way to achieve your goals and get away from eating these types of food. But after I've done this for 2 times, I was cured, man. No more binging for me. And fortunately, the rest also started getting better. But the idea of going back to this food just absolutely started to disgust me, because I had these negative experiences. And yeah, that's fully weird, but at the same time it helped me to achieve my goals. And after about 8 weeks, the craving started getting less and less and less. Still sometimes I get a little lapse in emotional experiences, and I start having a craving for something high carb that might alter my mood, but the moment I think about it, it just fully disgusts me, like, no way, man. And I'm just like, no, I don't ever want to be eating that stuff again. And yeah, just acting fully weird and out of the box just helped me to achieve my goals. So yeah, that's basically just what I would like to suggest. Just be with that weirdness. Make life a little bit more silly. Don't shy away from acting all weird, especially not if it's going to help you achieve your goals. Don't be so concerned with coming across as weird. I think we all have some weirdness in it, and I suggest you just let it flow out and stop caring about what other people would think of it. I mean, I know a lot of weird people, and actually what I find is that I can have a real good time with those weird people, because you can laugh about it and you can take the seriousness of life off. And basically what I find is that just being with that weirdness just helps to take the edge of life off, and it's just a lot more fun to be around, really.